Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Oh, welcome to my Asshole Podcast. How are you guys doing today on this lovely Tuesday episode? It's the start of the week. Everybody don't like the start of the week. Hopefully you had a great weekend. I know I didn't. We got banned on TikTok for a few days. Yeah, I mean, that was interesting. We talk about a lot of different things on this show, and we talk about a lot of stuff that just, I guess, goes on, and whether it's the dating scene or just people's lives and just life in general. And for some reason, I guess you can't just be honest. I guess you can't just be real about what's going on in the world today and talk about it and have constructive criticism conversations without it being considered hate speech. That's what I was hit with. I was banned for a hate speech. And I'm like, am I hateful? I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments. I don't think I'm very hateful. I try to just tell the objective truth. And, people kind of take that the way they're going to take it, if I'm being honest with you. I kind of look at it like, there are uncomfortable truths and there are things that people don't want to talk about, but I think they are things that we do need to talk about. I think we shouldn't be afraid to have conversations. I don't think we should be afraid to want to talk about certain things and, be able to put that out publicly, without really being criticized. Like it's okay to talk about things. And my thing is, when there are verifiable when things are verifiably true, but they may be a little uncomfortable. I mean, sure, you can sit there and not like it all you want, but it's not a lie though, and that's kind of my thing. And that's what really upset me about this whole band is I didn't do anything, but just tell the honest truth, and for some reason they look at it instead of looking at it as a constructive criticism, I guess you would say. Instead of looking at it as that, they look at it more of just oh no, you're just, spewing rhetoric and hate speech. And it's just no, because I would argue that people that are listening to it, whether it's my podcast or my clips or whatever it may be, they can form their own opinions and be able to voice their own opinion, and we can have a conversation. That's what I love about the show that I do, is that I'm able to kind of bring scenarios to you guys or bring situations to you guys, and you guys are able to voice your own opinion. You guys are able to put that in the comments and talk to each other and talk to me and voice that opinion publicly. It's not just something where, we're all hiding our opinions because we're afraid of what we're going to say. And so to me, I just think that's ridiculous that they're going to sit there and call it hate speech. Now, I understand there's certain things that are horrible to say, but I've never said any of those things. I've never promoted, anybody unaliving anybody. I've never promoted anybody discriminating anybody because of race, color, creed, or gender. We've talked about a lot of situations. I feel personally that there is bad on men and women's side. I always will defend the woman if, need be, and she's in the right in the situation. But I'm also going to defend the man when the woman is in the wrong. But for some reason, it's whenever I'm reacting to videos or talking about certain situations and I batter the man, oh, dude, nothing happens. Nothing at all. It's everything's hunky-dory and it's chilling. But all of a sudden, when the situation comes through and the woman is in the wrong, it's hate speech. It's a violation. It's me spewing rhetoric. And I'm huh? I'm only seeing the situation for what it is. And any person with common sense would probably agree with me. And to me, I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck? Okay, what we got banned for, and I wish I had a clip of it. I'm sorry I don't, but I just don't have a clip of it. But we did a live stream on Sunday, and we were live streaming the Sunday episode as I was starting to do that. I think that was maybe our third time live streaming it. And we were going over a video. We were reacting to a video where this woman, she was pretty much like not really respecting what her husband does for a job. So she looks at it like, oh, well, you just sit on a forklift all day, so how do you come home tired? Oh, you just unload trucks, and because you use a machine, that's not mentally taxing and all that kind of stuff. And for me, all I said was, wow, she must really not respect him. She must really not respect him. She must really not. And you guys can watch the episode. The episode's on YouTube. So, you guys, I'm not lying here or anything like that. You can watch the episode on YouTube. The episode's on YouTube. The episode is on Spotify. It's on all that shit. You guys can listen to the episode. But I was pretty much just saying that she does not respect her husband. She does not respect him to the degree where she could see his job as being valuable and being a integral part of their relationship and their family dynamic and all that kind of stuff. And we were kind of just defending him on that, because it's like, dude, just because you feel his job isn't that like laborious or taxing or anything like that doesn't mean that it isn't. You know what I mean? And the thing is when we kind of like go at and combat that kind of thing, for some reason, I'm hit with a community strike, and I am hit with getting banned for a few days and all this kind of stuff. And it just, I don't know, to me, it blows my mind, because I'm like, in that situation scenario, and like I said, if you want to go watch the episode, it's there. It's still up on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So, you know what I mean? It's there. So you could, go watch it yourself and, come back to this and be like, oh no, you were wrong and and this and that. You can do that if you want. Or, you watch it and you come back and you're like, yeah, you know what? You was right. Or, you can take my word for it. It's up to you. I look at it like, I just don't want you to feel like, oh no, he's trying to paint it in a certain light where it makes him right. And it's like, no. It's not about being right. That's not my argument. My argument is not about being right. My argument is about being able to have constructive criticism on the things that are going on in the world and be able to have a conversation. That is what it's about. I don't care if I am wrong or right. I don't care if what I say about a certain situation changes somebody's mind or not. That's not the goal of this show. The goal of this show is to have conversation, to have people come in and, give their side of it, give their opinion. I don't like to say give your truth, because that's just kind of stupid. I believe there is the truth, not your truth. And the thing is when you're spitting mad facts, bro, people, they tend to listen. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that's why I have the following that I have, and the reason why you're listening right now is because you look at it like, yeah, man, he may say some shit that I don't really fully agree with, but it's true though. You know what I mean? So I can't really be too mad at it, because I ain't gonna lie to you, there's a lot of creators out there that I listen to, that I've seen and watched and whatever, that, they'll say some shit and I'm like, but I have to be cognizant enough to understand, bro, it's the truth though. You know what I mean? It's the truth. And I always, want people to do their own research, and I also want people to also, talk to other people and kind of get your own like data set and just really look at that, because the thing is a lot of people are so quick to just be like, oh, that's not true. Oh, that's not true. Oh, that doesn't happen. And it's like, okay, why is that not true? Why doesn't that happen? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, like I said, are quick to say that, but they can't substantiate their argument. And that's why for me, I love to substantiate my argument. I like to give examples. I like to articulate myself in a certain way where people are able to understand it and even apply it to their own life, where they're like, oh, the amount of DMs and the amount of messages I've gotten from people where they're just like, oh, you know what? Like, I was in that same situation and this and that. And you kind of actually gave me another perspective. You gave me a little clarity on it. Oh, I actually saw this situation this way, but now that you kind of phrased it this way, made me kind of think about it a little differently. Like, in the 3 years I've been doing this show, there's been a lot of that. And what it tells me is that people are able to listen to the things that I say, and it doesn't necessarily have to change their mind, but it does give them perspective. And that's what I tell everybody. I'm like, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to just give you perspective. I'm here to let you see a different side, and we can talk about it. We can have a conversation about it, and I think that's why I don't really get a lot of hate comments, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times I think people are adult enough to kind of be cognizant of that. I think, my viewer base and the people that listen to me and stuff, they look at it like, all right, man, I'm an adult. I'm not one of these like weirdos who just sits there and is just mad at everything. Do we get those people? 1000%. But I think there's so few far in between, and I think they see that there's more people that kind of either agree with what I say, or they look at it as like, you know what, I don't like it, but it's an objective truth, and so I understand that. But here's my opinion. And so I think it kind of deters those people away, if I'm being real with you. But I don't know. I just wanted to open up this show about that because it really pissed me off. It really did. It put me in a perspective because I don't go after anybody. I don't say anything discriminate. I don't say anything rude or upset or mean or crass or anything like that. You know what I mean? I take situations and scenarios for what they are, and I apply the objective truth to it, as well as a little bit of my opinion, as well as just observational data and things that happen to all of us. Because, and I think that's what kind of makes a lot of times this show relatable to people, is because they sit there and they think to themselves like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I've dealt with a situation. Oh, I had a friend that was in this situation. Oh, I've dealt with a family member that was in that situation. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Because, I thought the same way when it came to that situation. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I look at it like it's constructive criticism where we're just having a conversation. And fuck TikTok. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Just like, fuck them, bro. The fact that they're sitting there saying that I'm spewing hate speech because of my constructive criticisms on a video, like, that's crazy to me. Like there are thousands of creators on TikTok that are doing the same exact shit, but for some reason, my small ass channel is getting banned. Like, what? I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, that is something I wanted to get off my chest. I wanted to put that out there because I was just kind of really upset about that and just really pissed off. And those that were in the Sunday live stream that day were probably wondering why the live stream just kind of went down all of a sudden. I talked about it a little more in my Discord. So, if you guys want to follow my Discord, link is down in the description. So you guys can kind of talk to me one-on-one and talk to me kind of outside the content and stuff like that, content space, and then get notified on every time, we upload anything. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because I found that to be crazy that a channel as small as mine would get banned off of TikTok, for a few days just off of hate speech. I don't know. You guys listen to this episode, I guess, and you let me know if I'm spewing hate speech. I don't know. All right. So let's get on to our thread for today. Our thread for today is, and it's gone. Okay. I put my money into the bank and it's gone for some reason. All right. Our thread for today is, what's the strangest thing you've heard during a job interview that made you not take the job? All right. So I was interviewing for a position and asked what my pet peeves were. I answered with people that do not use their blinker. He went on to tell me he does not use his blinker on his motorcycle to keep the other people on their toes. What? Huh? After hearing this, I decided not to work for someone who thinks like that. Nigga, what? Like what? Why would you not work at a job because somebody is actively choosing to want to die on a motorcycle? Like, come on, man. That's what that tells me. If you're on a motorcycle and you decide not to use your blinkers and you're just changing lanes and stuff like that, bro, that's on you. Like, you want to die. Like, what? Nah, man. And that, for some reason, made you not want to take the job? Nigga, you know how hard the job market is right now? And you over here acting like I'm not going to take a job because This nigga doesn't use his blinker on a motorcycle and is choosing death. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Yo, privilege is crazy, man. I would never. All right, what's the strangest thing that you have heard during an interview that made you not take the job? Interviewer. Wow, you're really doing great in this interview. I think you're ready for the full interview.
What did he say?
What? Huh? I'm ready for the what? Wait, huh? I would have been sitting there looking at this nigga like, what have I been doing for the last 30 minutes? Well, you know what I mean? The fuck have I been doing for the last 30 minutes? Have I been wasting my time for the last 30 minutes, nigga? What are we doing here? Oh my God. What's the full interview? The person says. Interviewer, we walk door to door to every business in the area and hand them these flyers. Bring your walking shoes. It's going to be a long day.
What did he say?
What? What job are you applying for? What kind of job are you applying for? They said the interview is doing a free trial of the job. Imagine that. Imagine you go to an interview and they're like, wow, you are doing so great in this interview. Now you're ready for the full interview. And you're like, wait, huh? What? Full interview? What are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, full interview. All right, so you're going to do a full day of the work without pay. And then we'll go from there. So bring your walking shoes. Make sure you're ready. Like, get the fuck out of here. What the hell? Oh, hell no. No. I would have walked about that. I'd have been like, all right, I'm going to head out. You know, I'd have been the SpongeBob meme in a minute, bro. What the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? That's crazy work, bro. That is crazy work. Yeah, because the interviewer, they go on to say, so you want me to work a full day? The interviewer says yes. And then they say, without getting paid? That's right. Which way is the door? Facts. You want me to work a full day? And I didn't even read that part, mind you. I hadn't even gotten to that part. I just assumed that that's what they wanted me to do, was work the full day without getting paid. And then I just read it and I'm like, yep. Because we knew where that was going. We knew where that was going, bruh. Like, what the hell are we talking about? That's wild. All right, what's the strangest thing that you have heard during a interview that made you not take the job? When they started asking me what my parents did for a living, how educated they were, if they were married, etc. It was for a part-time job while I was in college for a financial service firm. Why would they need to know that? Maybe they want to know, like, I guess your financial situation at home, because I guess if they knew your financial situation at home, maybe you're less likely to steal. Maybe you're less likely to kind of, I don't know, like do some fuck shit or something like that. I don't know, because my thing is if I'm an interviewer, okay, and somebody's kind of coming to me and, you know, they have it rough at home. You know what I mean? Their parents aren't really like that wealthy or successful, or even just that well off, whatever it may be. You know, say they're like lower middle class and they're just struggling. And this person's trying to get a job to help them out. Like, why wouldn't you want to give them the job? I get it. You're maybe taking an inherent risk. But at the same time, it's like, I would think a person in that position would work harder than a person who comes from a good family, or they come from a background where, you know, they didn't really have to like worry about nothing. You know, like I would take that inherent risk just because I feel like I would get a harder worker. You know, I maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe I'm thinking of it wrong. Maybe business owners down in the comments can just, you know, educate me. But I don't know. I personally, like I said, I would take somebody who looks at it like, yeah, you know, things are tough at home. Like, I'm just trying to get a job so I can help out moms and dads. And like, you know what I mean? It's rough at home. My mom just got fired, and my dad, you know what I mean? He's working doubles and this and that and we could barely pay for it. I would look at that person and be like, you need this job. you're going to get hired. You're going to work hard and come to work every day. You need this money. You know what I mean? You can't lay in bed sitting there talking about, oh, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and say that shit. And so I kind of like that. I think that's a good thing. I would look at that as like, yeah, that's showing me drive without even telling me. But I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why they didn't take the job. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that in comments though. Okay. What is the strangest thing that you have heard during a job interview that made you not take the job? Okay. I found a job on Craigslist. All right, bro. That's where you already fucking up. You found a job on Craigslist, nigga? What? Crackhead boo-boo, needs you to sort out his shit or something? Come on, man. What are we doing here? For entry-level TV producer, go to the interview. It's at a house in a residential neighborhood. Exactly. Crackhead boo-boo. Come on, bruh. Weird that a TV production company would have its office in a house, but whatever. The guy interviewing me was looking to start his own television channel and needed content to get it off the ground. Since I had my own camera, I was a perfect fit for the company. Note, never worked for a video company that demands you provide your own equipment. It's almost always a scam and you will never get paid. So what's the starting salary? Well, it depends on how much you produce and how much money, we can get for selling the footage. But you'll probably make $100,000 this year. Come on, man.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Bro, you are not about to make 6 figures off of going to this nigga's house and making content and doing your own nah, bro. I would be like, I need to see the fact that you got that money. Or the sponsors or whatever. Like, where are you getting 6 figures, nigga? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Where are you getting $4,500 a month to pay me? Like, come on now. I don't know about that. Okay, me, freshly out of college, job making $15 an hour part-time and desperate for a new job that paid enough for me to move out of my folks' place. Okay, sounds great. That night we go to a big regional tango festival and I spend 6 hours filming people dance. Keep in mind, I am providing my own equipment, which includes mini DV tapes. So this cost me about $30 of my own money plus gas. After the festival, this guy tells me, you did great. I'm going to take you to this other place now. I do all my meetings here. I load up my thousands of dollars of camera, equipment, cams, mics, tripods, etc. and walk with him over to this tiny, shady-looking restaurant with blacked out windows and a sexy lady's silhouette on the door. This wasn't a restaurant. It was a strip club. Goddamn. He then proceeds to get trashed, tell me all about his scams, all the while flinging dollars at the freshly dropped out of college lady entertaining. I was too shocked to say anything while talking to him, but after I left, I never spoke to him again. Keep the tapes too, so he never made a dime off me. But I did learn a good lesson about trusting people in video production. Yeah, bro. I don't even. All of that was red flag right off the get go. The moment the nigga was like, "Yeah, bro, you're gonna be making 6 figures," like,
stop the cap.
No, get the fuck out of here, bro. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, when it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And that's just what it comes down to. Sorry to say it, but when it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. I would love for it to work out and be that way. And for some people it is. But I would argue it's a very, 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 very tiny, amount of people where it's actually like too good to be true is great. That's trash. That sucks, dude. All right, on to our next one. What's the strangest thing that you've heard during an interview that made you not want to take the job? The interviewer, a rather attractive brunette, a few years older than me, did nothing but talk about the guy that created the business. She even skirted my question about my responsibilities, workflow, insurance / retirement, etc. She kept babbling on about how great this guy was. Finally, after about a half hour, I stopped her mid-sentence, apologized for wasting her time, and told her that I had zero interest in working for a company that seemingly was entirely dependent on kissing the ass of the owner. Damn. Yeah, that's probably what it was. She probably looked at it like, oh my God, yeah, he's super amazing and so fun and great, and everyone thinks that, and everybody is super. Hey, Dave, come here, Dave. Tell this new guy how great the owner is. Dave's just like, yeah, the owner is fantastic, man. You know, Glaze Fest after Glaze Fest after Glaze Fest, because Glaze Fest and Glaze Fest and Glaze Fest. You know, like, bro, nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. Like, I shouldn't have to kiss my boss's ass in order to like get somewhere in a company. You know what I mean? Like, my hard work and work ethic should be enough for this person to be like, you know what, you're a great fit, you're great in the job. But that's just crazy to me. You know what I mean? That's just wild. Like, they think that. Like, what the fuck, dude? I guess so. Yeah, I would have walked out of there too, man. I would have walked out of there too. I'd be like, is this expected at this job? Like, is this what y'all do? Is this how you guys like operate on a daily basis? Is this part of the job requirements to glaze this nigga all day? Like, oh. All right, what's the strangest thing that you have heard during a job interview that made you say, nigga, please, I ain't taking this job? All right, I added that in there. Sorry. When I was in high school, I interviewed for a job at a nearby convenience store. Gas, minor food stuff, etc. It wasn't a high aspiration, but it seemed like a decent deal. During the interview, the manager asked my ethnicity. Feel free not to answer if you don't want to, just curious, is what he said. I assumed it was because Asian folk are something of a novelty in that part of the country. I told him Korean, but raised in the US. He then he went on a 5-fucking-minute tangent about how he couldn't stand Chinese people, that they were dirty and sneaking so on. He ended with, but you're not Chinese, so we're good. That's crazy, yo. He was just like, hey, so like, you know what's your ethnicity? I'm just curious. And he was just like, oh, yeah, I'm Korean and born. And he was like, oh, thank God. Woo! Because let me tell you about them Chinese dirty knees. Look at these. Them motherfuckers. Them ching chongs. Oh my God, is that the hate speech? All right, man. All right, lock me up. Maybe TikTok was right. Maybe they were right, bro. But if that's not my words, that's his words. You know what I mean? That's his words, bro. He was over here telling this Korean boy over here, them Chinese dirty knees, look at these ching chong motherfuckers. I can't stand them. You know how many times them motherfuckers have stolen in my gas station, bro? God damn. Hey, that's crazy work though, bro. That is crazy work. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, bro. Like, that's why I think you did the right thing. You just walk away from the situation and say, fuck it. It is what it is. Because, bro, that's crazy work, man. That's some crazy work. That is, bro. Wow. Oh, shit. All right. What is the strangest thing that you have heard during an interview that made you say, I'm not taking this job? We're kind of a boys club here. We don't hire many women outside of the admin department. Also, we have really bad luck with entry-level employees. They all seem to leave really quickly. I'm a female and was about to graduate college. Yeah, that's not gonna that's not gonna fit the diversity and inequity, inclusion quota for you guys. That's really going to fuck you guys up in that department. Over here being like, we're a boys club. Like, come on, man. What are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, look, I get it. Like having, like letting them know, hey, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys here, you know, and you're going to hear a lot of like, I guess what you would assume is sexualized jokes and stuff like that. Like you're going to hear a lot of this stuff. And we want you to know that it's not directed towards you, and if it is directed towards you, then let us know and we can kind of, you know, get that situated and hand up. But I want you to know that, so that way you don't come in blind to it. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to go about this shit, bro. You can talk and, you know, talk about it, because I won't lie to you, a lot of warehouse jobs do that. A lot of warehouse jobs will tell women like, hey, just so you know, since this is a majority male working environment, like you're gonna hear some very uncomfortable things. They're gonna talk about women in certain ways, and they're gonna make jokes, and they're gonna do things. Like, I need you to be okay with that. And if you're not, that's okay. This job may just not be for you, but you kind of got to understand that. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of jobs do that. A lot of jobs will, especially if there's a lot of men. And like I said, I know warehouse jobs do this because of my experience in warehouse jobs, where I know they looked at it like, you know, if you're doing this, if you're a woman coming into these jobs, they will tell you like, hey, you know, just so you know. I mean, obviously that's why, you know, they have the sexual harassment and all that kind of stuff. You know, they have those policies put in place. But it just, look, things slip through the cracks, you know, things always fall under that and stuff like that. And that's why I look at it like, bro, warn her, sure. But don't sit there and be like, yeah, we're a boys club, and yeah, we're probably just going to tell you shut the fuck up and this and that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bruh. But at the same time, there would be people that would be like, nah, it's good that he said that, because then she doesn't have to. I just feel like there would be a better way to tell her, instead of like, oh yeah, it's a boys club, this and that. You know what I mean? Like, I think there would have been a better way to tell her, because if she would have heard it from maybe that perspective, she probably would have looked at it like, oh, okay, like, cool, it is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I'm at this job for money. I'm not at this job for fucking making friends. You know what I mean? I'm not at this job to meet guys or anything. I'm at this job to fucking make money. So I'm going to, you know, do my 8 hours. I'm going to get the fuck out of there, you know? So I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where it's just like, I think if you would have maybe let her in on a little bit, you know, it would have worked out. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me, I guess. All right. We're going to do one more in the thread. So what's the strangest thing that you have heard during a job interview that made you say, I don't want this job anymore? On-campus interview with a management consulting firm 4 years ago. Yeah, we've lost some employees in Iraq. If you're willing to go to Iraq, I can give you a job today.
What did he say?
What? You want me to go where? You want me to go where and do what? What the fuck kind of consulting are we doing in Iraq, bruh? You know what I mean? What the hell are we consulting Habibi for? What am I consulting him for? Which mud hut he wants to live in next? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here, bro? Like, come on, man. The hell kind of consulting work is getting done out there? And then on top of that, nigga, we got FaceTime. All right? Send Habibi a fucking laptop. Tell that nigga to get on that laptop, and we can talk like that. I can consult you over a telephone. I know y'all niggas got telephones because you use them to blow up IEDs. So I know you got a telephone, nigga. Like, let's talk over the phone. I don't need to be in Iraq to consult somebody. The fuck are we talking about here? That's crazy. Yo, like, bruh. All right, I can see why TikTok is like your hate speech. I can see, you know what I mean? But is it not true though? Is it not true? Would they look at it like? And Habibi is not a derogatory term. That is literally brother. Okay, so get the fuck out of here. Don't. I don't want to hear anybody saying, "Oh, but you're using Habibi." No, Habibi means brother. Get the fuck out of my face. But you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, bruh. Yeah, I wouldn't take that job either. But like I said, even the people that are listening to this right now would just be like, hell no, I wouldn't go to Iraq for no consulting job. Who the hell? No. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wild work. Wild work. There ain't no way. Like I said, I'd be like, Habibi, you got a phone? That motherfucker can call me. You know what I mean? I'll give you my work line and we chilling. You know, what the hell are we talking about here? But yeah, that's going to go ahead and be the the thread, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the thread. You guys let me know what you thought of the thread. And if you've ever been in a job interview and you just thought, oh, hell nah, and walked on out, let me know the story down in the comments. All right. Love you guys and appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and get into our announcements, and then we're going to get into our thread for today. And patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show, as well as being able to rate Patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. Get that exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show like these lovely people did for today. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys are absolutely killing it. I do appreciate that so very much. You guys are still coming out to the shows and hanging out and all that good stuff. Rate us 5 stars on your preferred platform, as well as following us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that has been a huge, tremendous help, and I do appreciate all the support you guys show, regardless of how you show your support. All right. So without further ado, let's get on into our scenarios for today. Our first one is, am I overreacting over the name of a contact my boyfriend saved in his phone? Okay. So she's upset of the name that she was saved? Am I overreacting over the name of a contact? No, it's just a contact. It's not her contact. I thought she was mad because it was like her contact. Like that I would understand. You know what I mean? I would understand that and I'd be like, oh, okay. All right, so my boyfriend, 49 male of 8 years, and my son's father recently started working for a lady that needed her house fixed up. I will call her Rachel. She is in her late 60s, so nothing about this felt off at first, until I noticed how much time he was spending at her house. He would be there well after working hours. He also barely ever answered his phone while he is there. I know he is working, but for him to not respond even once all day is out of character. I should also add that before me, he had always dated older women, and he has cheated both physically and emotionally 3 times throughout our relationship. Like I said, I didn't think anything of it until I saw what he had her saved as his, saved her. Hold on. He had saved her in his phone as, is what she meant. He saved her as Blue Balls Rachel. Okay. All right. So does that mean niggas trying to smash, but she just not letting them? Or is it a joke where, you know, man, I don't know. Let's see. I also should add that our sex life has literally ceased to exist in the past few weeks out of the blue. So my question is, am I overreacting for being upset / suspicious of the name he saved her under in his phone? You're absolutely dumb. You're absolutely dumb. I don't even know why you're surprised. You said that he cheated on you 3 times in your relationship, whether it be physically or emotionally. That already should tell you what's going on. Like, look, man. Oh, and I say it all the time for congruency reasons. Okay. So y'all bitch ass niggas can never tell me that I am not congruent or that I am flip floppy or wishy washy. No. I ain't about that over here. We speak of the truth and we speak it consistently. I always say, when your partner cheats on you, and if they are remorseful about it and they take accountability for it, they say to themselves, you know what, I fucked up, I'm so sorry, this and that, and you feel that they're worth that second chance, great, fantastic, give them that second chance, I'm all about it. But you obviously put things in place to kind of say, hey, these are my boundaries. This is what's going on. If these things, continue to happen, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And I think you did that. And that was fantastic. But what I always say is, once is an accident, twice is a pattern. Okay? Once is an accident, twice is a pattern. And I say that because it's like, you can tolerate that once, sure. You know what I mean? It's an accident. It is what it is. It happens. People get weak-willed, and they fall into a situation, or it's a heat of the moment, whatever you want to excuse. But the moment it starts being multiple times, then at that point it's like, okay, cool, bro, I took you back, and now you're just taking advantage of me taking you back, looking at it like, oh, cool, I'm chilling, bro. I could do whatever I want. She took me back, so that means if I cheat on her again, then she'll just take me back again, And I think that's why if you take them back and they develop that mindset, that's why you then leave, because it's now a pattern. And that's why I say that all the time, where I would argue majority of people, if, they get into a situation where they've cheated, they're remorseful for it, they take accountability for it, and their partner decides, hey, okay, let's build that trust back up together. These are some non-negotiables. These are my boundaries. These are things I don't want you doing. These are things I need to do in order for the trust to grow, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And I'm all for that. I love that. I think that's great. But see, the thing that I don't like is when people will do that, their partner then does it again, and they think for some reason, oh, I'm just going to reapply that just because they were remorseful. It's like, no. The fact that you took them for their word and you trusted their word. You trusted that they were truly remorseful. You trusted that they were truly what they were. And they go and do it again. Well, that just tells me everything that you said, everything that you were remorseful for, everything that you were taking accountability for, was a lie. It was a lie. It was a fat fucking lie. You lied to me in a moment where you were trying to gain my trust back. You lied to me. You lied. So peace and chicken grease, Negro. I'm up out of here. You can take your ashy knees and your watermelon and you can kick rocks. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, after the second time this dude cheated on you, you should have been gone. You should have. And look, I get it. You have kids and you think, oh, that's going to make it hard. And look, if I'm being honest with you, bro, it's one of those things where it's like, it's ideal. And it's the best situation to have, two parents in the household for your kid, and, not have your kid deal with two homes and going back and forth and all that stuff. I get that. 1,000%. But if I'm being honest with you, if things just aren't working out, you got to find a way to co-parent and make a situation work. That's just what it comes down to. Sorry to say it. You know what I mean? It sucks for the kid and it hurts for the kid, but if I'm being honest with you, that's the best course of action, is to kind of just co-parent, move on, and let it be what it's going to be, because this is the type of situation you get put in. I don't even think like the fact that his name that he had for her in the phone was like the leading factor to this. No, like, just the fact that he cheated on you that many times and you took him back still already goes to show, yeah, he's doing some fuck shit. The simple fact that you guys' sex life just immediately stopped, that goes to tell you right there he's doing some fuck shit. Like, you see the signs and they're right there, but you're just like, no. That happens to other people. That doesn't happen to me. That happens to other people. That doesn't happen to me. Like, my husband would never. He would never do that. He told me that we're good. He told me that, he felt bad about cheating those other 3 times. He told me that, he was building the trust with me. And it's just like, you're for some reason trying to believe this so hard. And it's just like, you got to let it go. You know what I mean? Got to get a little bit of that Elsa and just let it go. Let it go. This relationship's not for you anymore. I'm just saying. It sucks. It's horrible. It's easier said than done. It's all that. But it's the truth. So yeah, man. You guys let me know what you think about it down in the comments while we get into our next one. All right. What do I do? Girlfriend keeps bringing up her ex. Ooh, damn. I've been with my girlfriend for a year. Everything is good and smooth, but one thing that keeps bothering me is sometimes once a week she mentions her ex. Not comparing me to him. No, she is. For example, today we were talking about technology in our old schools, and she suddenly mentioned that her ex's old school was way ahead of others. All of the mentioning are close to what happened today. I talked to her about it in the past and she briefly stopped, but now I feel like she mentions him once in a while. Any advice? Oh, look, bro, if I'm being honest with you, this girl is not over her ex at all. And it's crazy that she's been with you for a year, bro. A year. But see, this is what I think is going on. And a lot of people are going to feel like this is a reach. But if I'm being real with you, this happens a lot more than a lot of people like to admit. All right. She is in the relationship with you because she is waiting for her ex to come back. You're kind of just that placeholder boyfriend. You're kind of just that dude to make him jealous. You're kind of just that in-between relationships kind of guy. You're that guy that she kind of just, you're just enough, but not enough. And the reason that tells me that is because she can't say anything nice about you. I already know she doesn't say nice things about you. I already know that. I already know she doesn't say nice things about you. I already know she doesn't compliment you, because the simple fact that she can't have a conversation or tell a story without mentioning another man or her ex, that goes to show me that, yeah, bro, she just don't really think about you like that. She don't really see you like that. She's not really interested in you like that. And everyone's thinking like, oh, bro, that's a reach. They've been together for a year. What are you talking about? Yeah, they've been together for a year. Because she probably is waiting on one guy that doesn't want her back. That's what she's doing. She's waiting for one guy to want her back. And she feels for some reason that staying in this relationship is better than being single, or staying in this relationship is better than getting over her ex in a healthy way. She feels like staying in this relationship is what is going to get her that relationship back with him. I don't get why women do this. I don't get the logic behind it, but that's what's going on. That's what's happening. It's why women will be in relationships, right? And, they'll be seeing a guy for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And the guy is just like, man, my girl's good and everything. Da, 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 da. And then out of nowhere, she either starts talking to her ex again, or she starts talking to this dude. And she just immediately, just everything that she used to do for him, just cut it off immediately. And it's just like instant. It's an instant thing. He didn't do anything. He didn't say anything. And she's just like, oh, well, I just don't feel like this was working out for me. Oh, I just don't feel loved in this relationship. I don't feel like you do enough. I don't feel like you're, really vibing with my vibrations and energy. And I feel like you're not, they're going to come up with any and every fucking excuse under the goddamn sun to justify the fact that you were just a placeholder boyfriend this entire time, and this was the type of guy that I was waiting for, or my ex finally came back and realized, I was that bitch for him. And I guarantee you break up with this girl, guarantee you break up with this girl, right? She's gonna go right back to her ex. She will be dating him in the next week. She will be with him in the next fucking week, bro. And see, what another thing is, what a lot of girls do is they will be in a relationship, right? And when they're in that relationship, they are waiting for things to kind of solidify with the other person that they're with before they break it off. When we say a woman breaks up with you in her mind before she actually breaks up with you, that is what I mean, where she finds this dude and she's just like, oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I'm talking about right here. So I'm done with my guy. I'm done with him. She's broken up with you, bro. You just don't know it. And then, but what she's doing is she's looking at it like, I broke up with him in my mind, but I can't break up with him physically. And I can't let him know that I broke up with him in my mind, because if things don't work out with Chad over here, Chad Thundercock, then I got to be able to have somebody to go back to. You know what I mean? So since I got to have somebody to go back to, I'm going to just kind of put him in like what I like to call the placeholder boyfriend box. You know what I mean? He's in the placeholder boyfriend zone where she's just like, I'm going to just put you right there. And you'll just hold the place for right now. But no, you ain't going to be in that place for long. If Chad Thundercock over here decides, he want to call me his girlfriend, you best believe you're gone immediately. And I'm going to say anything and everything so that way me and Chad can have a wonderful relationship together. So that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's just like, you have to understand when you are that placeholder boyfriend, and you have to be able to kind of like see behind the nuances of what she's doing, because you got to understand, women are covert. Women aren't like men where we are very overt. When we don't like a dude, we'll clearly tell a motherfucker we don't like him. You know what I mean? We'll be very open about not liking somebody. We'll be very open about not really liking a girl and stuff like that. But the thing is women won't do that. Women are very covert, and that kind of switches obviously when it's before, you know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people sit there, oh no, girls will tell off dudes all the time. Yeah, but that's before the relationship happens. Like if you guys are just, you're just walking up to her and you're talking to her, yeah, she's gonna be overt as fuck. Like, oh no, I don't want to be with you. Oh no, you're chopped or whatever the case may be. Yeah, but when they're in a relationship, that's when the roles kind of reverse, where the woman is now more covert and the man is a little more overt. That's how the dynamics switch. And that's why in his case, it's that way. Now, if this was a case of like, you're just walking up to her and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, it would be that way. So, but yeah, you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments though. Cause yeah, dude, I think you're just kind of that placeholder boyfriend. She's just waiting for X to come back, All right. We're going to get into our last scenario for today's episode. So am I the asshole or because I went back on my promise to pick my girlfriend up on days I am not working? Yeah, I think you are. I do, because the fact that because look, okay. As a man, only two things are true, bro. All right? As a man, all you have in this world is your word and your balls. All right? Those are the two things, okay? Those are the two things that are true in this world for men, is that you got your word and you got your balls. If you're the type of dude who makes promises and you say that you're going to do things, and then you are always following through with those promises, or you're always making an excuse why you can't, and you're always doing that, bro, you're not a real man. You're just not. Men are derived on integrity. Men are derived on the truth. Men are derived on their ability to, make things, like agree to things and follow through with them. If you're not able to do that, bro, then nah, man. Nobody's really going to take you serious. Nobody's really going to want to, interact with that kind of person. Nobody's going to want to, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to understand that when you tell, especially your girl, especially your girl, that, hey, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for you, and you don't do it, well, guess what, bro? She's 1 foot out the fucking door, because she looks at it like, I can't rely on you. You know what I mean? I can't rely on you. The man I'm supposed to be giving my protection to, I need to be able to rely on him. You know what I mean? But if I can't rely on you, you can't protect me. And that's what she's doing. That's kind of how she's dealing with this right now. So I'll get into the scenario. We'll read into the details and all that kind of stuff. So I work 4 days that are 12-hour shifts, and I get 4 days off each week. My girlfriend doesn't drive, and I am the only one who can. On the days I have off, I will pick her up and drop her off at home. Lately, I've gotten really tired and having to drive around all the time. Sometimes she will ask me for lifts to work, and sometimes she will ask me to drop her off somewhere. Sometimes she will ask me to drop her off and then have me wait over an hour in the parking lot for her to finish, because by the time I get home, it'll be too late for me to relax. Today she has an appointment at the mall. It's about 10 minutes away, walking distance from us. My girlfriend wanted me to pick her up from her job and then drop her off at home. And then after 30 minutes of rest, she needed me to drop her off at her appointment. And then she wanted me to pick her up from the mall. I told her I would, but I really didn't want to because I am getting tired of driving. I should also note it's also raining outside, but it appears to be dying down. I told her I'd drop her off at her appointment, but I didn't want to pick her up because I am tired of driving. She got upset with me and asked me why, and I told her I was getting tired of driving and the mall was only 10 minutes away on foot. She told me she didn't want to walk and she has a headache, and I also already agreed to pick her up from her appointment. After pouting about it, I relented and agreed to pick her up from her appointment, but I wouldn't pick her up from school the next day. She then told me that she needed me to pick her up from school tomorrow because she needed to get things from Costco, and she also got mad at me because I already agreed that on my days off, I would always, come pick her up. Now we are both upset with each other. She is mad at me because she feels I am going back on my word, which you are. When I already agreed to do these things, I am mad at her because I feel like I am not a person in her eyes, and me being tired of driving isn't a legitimate excuse for her. Just to clarify, I work, I shift work, so I work 4 days straight and then 4 days off after I finish. Look, I get it. That's a lot of driving. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of this and that. I get that 1000%. But at the same time, when you got into a relationship with this girl, you kind of knew what you were signing up for. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, I get it. You know, you look at it like, you probably looked at it in the beginning. Oh, this is not as bad. This is not that bad. Like, I can handle this. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's fine. But now I think you're at a point where you're kind of like, okay, this is too much. I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I think that's where you maybe, compromise, meet in the middle, get her some lifts, you know what I mean? Give her a little ride share, something. Or fucking help her get her license, dude. It's different if she has like a medical condition where she can't drive. You didn't really mention that. You just said that she can't drive. So, if it's a medical condition, I understand. My ex-fiance was like that. I had to drive her around everywhere because, I helped her get her license, and then, she started driving for a little bit, and then her condition got really bad to where the doctor was like, yeah, no, your license is getting revoked and you can't drive. So then I had to drive her everywhere. But it was one of those things where I kind of knew the situation and I knew what I signed up for. And so it was just like, I took on that burden. It sucks. I get it, but and what I would do is I would just buy her lifts. I would buy her, you know what I mean? Like that, I would give her money for that. You know what I mean? So that way she could get home. You kind of got to just create like some alternative for her at least. You can't just be like, bitch, walk. Like that's just ridiculous to me. She looks at it like, my safety is in your hands. You know what I mean? And for you to just be like, yeah, go ahead and just walk, bro, numerous things could happen. You can get ran over. You can, some of them can just pull up and snatch her up. And, you know what I mean? Just, you never know. The world is crazy and things happen. And I understand that things happen. And so you just have to be cognizant of that. You know what I mean? It's not hard to give her, a couple bucks for a lift. You know what I mean? Like, you put in for the lift and see how much it is. I guarantee you it's going to be like less than $10. And I know you can do that. You know what I mean? And it just allows her to kind of get where she needs to go and do what she needs to do. And that way you don't have to take her all the time, but you take her majority of the time. Just creating alternative solutions that I think where you need to be. Because yes, you are the asshole because you agreed. You agreed to this. You said, yes, this is what I'm going to do for you. And then you're not doing it. Which makes her feel like, yo, what the fuck, nigga? Like, I thought you said that you were going to do this. You're going back on your word. She now feels like I can't rely on you. So if she can't rely on you, then she'll kind of start getting it in her head like, man, do I really want to stay with this dude? Like, is this dude even really worth it? Because, like, I can't rely on him. I can't, get where I need to go or do the things I need to do. You know what I mean? He said that he would help me, but he's not. So it's like, what if some shit happens while I'm out? And yeah, I call him and I'm like, hey, oh my God, some stuff happened. And you're just too tired to show up. You know, like, bro, and that's what I'm saying. And that's, I think, where she's kind of getting at, where she looks at it like, bro, I can't rely on you. And so that's why I look at it like, create alternatives for her. Hey, I can buy you a Lyft, buy you an Uber. You know what I mean? I can do these kind of things for in the times where it's like, hey, I'll drop you off and then I'm going to go home. You call me, let me know, and I'll get you a Lyft. You know, and that way you can get home. Or you know, I will, you know, I'll get you a Lyft there and then I'll come pick you up because I can do that. And I think she would be more than willing to do stuff like that. I think she would be more than willing to kind of be in that compromise, if I'm being real with you. But you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments, as well as everything we've gone over today. Thank you guys so much for listening and all that good stuff and being a listener. I do appreciate you guys so very much, man. You know, I want this show to be something where, again, we just have conversations and we talk and we enjoy that conversation. And, you know, even if they're hard conversations or even if they're difficult conversations, we're able to have them. We're able to all be adults here. You know what I mean? So thank you guys so much. And I appreciate you guys for all your support. And I love you guys so much. I'll see you on Tuesday for our next chapters of Haunting the Hunter. I'm excited for that. I'll see you guys on Thursday. And that's what we're going to be doing on there. Love you all. Peace.